We walk upon the earth, blind to the rivers flowing beneath our feet. But some are born with eyes like deep water, reflecting secrets from the past and shadows from a future that hasn't even arrived yet. For them, the wall between now and forever is nothing but a shattered pane of glass. Pretty close to the heart of Bavaria, near the mountains, where the air is thin and the secrets are old, there lived a man named Alois Irlmaier. To the world he was a simple well-digger, but to my paternal family he was something much closer to home. I know this because of my own history. My paternal family lived on a farm where the earth held its breath, waiting for a sign, and it was Alois Irlmaier who came to that land. He didn't just tell stories. He dug into the soil of my ancestors and found the water that sustained them. He stood on that very soil I, much later, played on as a kid, holding his rod, searching for the hidden veins of the earth. He found a well for us. He could see what was hidden beneath the ground, but that was the least of his burdens. It was the 1940s. The war had torn the soul out of every village in Bavaria. Every mother, every wife was waiting for a sign, for a son or a husband to return home from the front or the prisoner camps. Fortunately, my father was just a kid during that time. He, as well as his brothers, survived the Third Reich. But they grew up in a world where the line between the living and the lost was as thin as a photograph. They all flocked to Irlmaier. They didn't go to the officials or the scientists. They went to the man who dug wells. They would show him photographs of their loved ones, and Alois would look. He would look past the paper, past the ink, into the currents of time itself. If he saw something there, he would tell them, "He's coming back, he's alive." But sometimes he would look at their photo and say, nothing. He would turn away, his face clouded with a heavy darkness. He didn't want to be the one to extinguish the last flicker of hope. He saw their deaths. He saw them lying in the mud of distant lands, or fading away in the camps. He didn't choose to see. He had to. And the system? They hated him for it. In 1947, the authorities tried to break him. They dragged him to court, accusing him of being a fraud, a charlatan, a gaukler. They wanted to put him in a box labeled crazy, or, better, criminal. But during the trial, Irlmaier looked at the judge. He told the judge exactly what his wife was doing at that very moment, miles away in the privacy of their home. The judge was stunned. There was no scientific explanation for that. Irlmaier was acquitted. The court had to admit he just knew what he knew. But the visions didn't stop with the aftermath of the war. Irlmaier looked further. He saw a third fire, a world of steel and light collapsing under its own weight. He warned of the 3 days of darkness, a time so thick with shadow that he urged, "Do not open your windows and do not look outside." Is this great fire still waiting for us? Is it lurking just beyond our modern horizon? Irlmaier said that if you survive those 3 days of absolute night, you might see faces peering through your windows. And if you endure what comes next, the world will transform. He spoke of a time of peace, so profound it's hard to imagine. a world better than it has ever been in human history. But to get to that light, he believed, we first have to walk through the deepest dark, and not many of us would make it. He was an outcast because he spoke of a reality that the rational world couldn't handle. He lived in a tension between the physical work of digging into the earth and the spiritual burden of looking into the future. My father's family had a well because of him, but the world has a warning because of him. These are the things we are too afraid to look at. And like every true seer, he was a stranger in his own time. Alois Irlmaier was an outcast, but his visions, they outlast.